Last night on Stream Chat, put something on my radar that I somehow missed in regards to aliens. It's very rare that something slips through my fingertips when it comes to juicy alien details. So now, first thing in the morning, I wanted to look into it because I thought for sure I'd be coming in here, shooting it down. Oh, it's not an alien, it's actually my buddy Eric and his homemade hovercraft. Like, I thought for sure there'd be a logical explanation for what they were telling me, which is new footage has just been revealed in an official capacity in regards to a unidentified aerial phenomena that ate a Hellfire missile. Which already sounds so far-fetched, it sounds like it'd fit right at home in Ice Cube's new War of the Worlds movie, but, you know, I'll eat my left shoe here. That is like exactly what this footage showed.
I want to cue up a video that I've been given. And as before it starts, I'm going to describe. This was taken October 30th of 2024. This video is of an MQ-9 drone tracking an orb, or this object, off the coast of Yemen. You'll see that another MQ-9 launched a Hellfire missile. This is when it zoomed out, so you can still see it traveling. So
now, I've made fun of a lot of new footage that keeps surfacing, like the fucking steel soccer balls that have been spotted, you know, in Colombia, and then it's like, here's the proof, and it's a guy posing next to what looks like two colanders glued together with his nipples out. Like, that kind of stuff is so silly and so stupid, it is clearly a hoax. This, though, I don't have the same criticism of. But don't worry, I have plenty of criticism for it. This video is still pretty fishy. Granted, this is one of the more, like, authentic-seeming videos that we have, and you all know how much I want to believe, how much I want there to be irrefutable proof of aliens visiting this planet. Me and my dad argue about this 2 times a week. I love this shit. He loves this shit. I, more than anyone, want to suckle from the tit of hopium that this is aliens. But there are just too many things to overlook here that are red flags. 1, why is data on this absent, such as location, travel speed, that kind of thing that would be present on other pieces of footage? For some reason, it seems to crop out so much information that would be present on the actual raw footage of it. Also, why does it cut there? I don't understand the reason for cutting where it does. Why does it cut? Surely they would have still been following that if a Hellfire missile was just fucking fired at it and it's still going. They wouldn't have just dropped it there. If this is all legitimate and you're whistleblowing, attempting to blow the lid off of a big operation here, why would you intentionally hide some crucial data to the footage? It doesn't really check out. Also, this randomly being sent to a congressman with, I'm guessing, little oversight from other departments and other people, that also feels a bit peculiar, like it wouldn't necessarily work that way, I would think, or at least it historically hasn't. So I guess just the absence of that information, as well as like some of the odd circumstances around it, just lead it to feel a bit weird, because it should be there. Like it feels like it's deliberately cropped to not have some of that information there. Also, why were they using a Hellfire missile in the first place? Hellfire missiles, as I understand it, keep in mind, I am not an expert on Hellfire missiles by any means, but you can look this up yourself. Hellfire missiles are typically used for air-to-surface engagements. It doesn't often get used for air-to-air. So it seems like a weird choice for them to just launch the Hellfire missile at this UAP that's scooting through. And it's also equally confusing why it ricochets in the first place instead of just exploding. Because it clearly does make contact there. There's even debris you can see, fire off from it. Why did it bounce off like a fucking ping pong ball here? Let's assume that this is actual alien technology and it's got some kind of hyper advanced, incomprehensible force field or gravity distortion field around it. Like, let's say that's all like legit an alien in there. Fucking Marvin the Martian is cruising through on his new cosmic nut ship, and it just now got this Hellfire missile shot at it. I just don't understand why it wouldn't blow up once it makes that contact the way that it's supposed to. I mean, it, of course, could be like a dud. It really seems like a miracle it even hit it with a Hellfire missile in the first place, considering how seemingly small the target is. But I just don't really get the ricocheting. It feels like even if there is a force field or some kind of crazy tech around it, it still should have just like blown up once it makes that clear contact. Of course, you can make the argument that this technology is so advanced, I am shitting my pants, it disabled the rocket mid-flight and that's why it bounced off, because now it was, completely disarmed or something. Maybe. I mean, if it's alien tech, throw all logic and knowledge we have out the window, because it would be beyond our understanding, truly. But food for thought, and something that I learned about that maybe could be an explanation for this. They make inert Hellfire missiles. They're used for the sake of like training and that kind of thing. Could this be an inert Hellfire missile? It would explain the lack of explosion there. But, counterpoint to my own point of bringing this up, from what I understand, most inert Hellfire missiles don't actually have the ability to be launched. Is it possible this one did? Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of maybes here, because this is so hard to know what is actually going on here. I haven't seen anything like this. Of all of like the alien ship footage I've seen, this one is the most head-scratching, I'll say it.
So, Mr. Knapp, have you heard about events like this occurring? And what information might you have?
I have heard about events like this. I have heard about this event. Jeremy Corbell and I talked about it in one of our episodes a while back. We did not have the video, though. There are servers where there's a whole bank of these kind of videos that Congress has not been allowed to see, that the public hasn't been allowed to see. Occasionally, some of that stuff gets out in the wild, and it comes our way. It should be going to you. The public should be seeing this stuff. And why you're not allowed to, I don't know. But that's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
So
what flies like that?
Again, I'm not going to speculate what it is, but the question is, why are we being blocked from this information?
That is something you can also see in the footage. The debris that seems to spawn after the impact does appear to get like wrapped up with the UFO. Like it appears to travel with it from that point forward, and the speculation is it has some kind of like gravity to it that is able to like attract it in, something like that. Again, if this actually is like alien technology, you could just start spitballing the craziest shit ever, and it's possible, because any technology that would allow visitors from the universe to come here would be so above and beyond our comprehension, we wouldn't even know what the fuck it would look like. So you could throw out anything like that as an explanation, and if it is actually alien tech, yeah, it's definitely possible. I just have a hard time believing that here. I think the IR camera also makes it seem very different than how it might have actually been in real life. Like, this could be as simple as like some kind of like missile interception test footage that we're seeing through IR that's been shared with the congressman under a completely false pretense. Missile interception technology is something the military actively pursues. Everybody knows that. That is real. Or maybe this moves kind of like a drone. Maybe this is a new type of drone. The fucking rubber drones, the Luffy drones out there designed to ricochet rockets off of it. Like, there are other explanations outside of aliens. And since so much data is missing here, it's hard to really know exactly what it is, and also, like, other crucial components to it. It is very interesting, though.
Hellfire makes a hit, a kinetic strike on something solid. There's usually not much left of whatever it is it's hitting. It's very, very destructive. What seems to happen is that the missile is either redirected, or in some case, perhaps glances off the object and continues on its way.
Naturally, I had to call my dad to see if he had seen this yet, and if he hadn't, I wanted to put it on his radar so we could get the expert's opinion on it. Hey, did you see the new UAP footage, the new UFO eating the Hellfire missile?
What?
Yeah, Congressman just brought some footage of a supposed UFO that got hit with a Hellfire missile, but the missile bounced off it and it continued on its way. You haven't seen that?
No, where was that?
You're slacking. What the fuck? It was earlier.
I'm watching TV. I ain't on the computer.
Well, was
I've
it?
been working on my goddamn iRacing for 2 nights. I can't get on there because I did an update and it's all fucked up. I'm probably gonna have to just quit. I can't fix it.
No. You're not gonna retire from iRacing. I'll fix it. Yeah, look it up. It was yesterday, like last night.
What do I look up?
Just type in UFO Hellfire missile.
That was a hoax, though.
No, it's
Okay.
just
UFO. What?
Hell.
UFO dodges Hellfire missile.
Yeah, what do you think though? You think that's aliens? You think that's real?
They have more than 752 sightings.
Listen to Mom.
They have received more than 750 UAP sightings between May of 23 and June of 24.
No, it's
You know, it's bullshit.
You
That's
can't.
you
you can't tell what it is. It's a little white dot on a screen, you know, and you see something flying at it and something down. I mean, I don't know. You know, who knows?
Yeah, it's just interesting though.
It's nothing discernible. Well, it's really not even interesting. I think it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of freaking hokey, if you ask me. Whatever.
Oh, okay.
How do we even know it's a Hellfire missile? That's what they're saying. We
Yeah.
don't know that.
That's true. That is just what they're saying. Well, you heard it here first. This did not pass the smell test for my father. I found it kind of interesting. He, however, smelled stink. The stink of some baloney. So after I heard that from him, I decided to do even more digging. I watched the footage back multiple times. I was reading from other people that had analyzed it quite a bit. And I found a theory that really explains a lot of the wackiness here in the presentation, like the absence of location, telemetry, that kind of thing. They are speculating that the object in the video isn't even moving. What's moving is the drone, the MQ-9 drone. They are saying that the drone is what's moving, and they are panning to the object, so it looks like everything around it's moving, when in actuality it is stationary. It would explain the absence of like telemetry data here in the footage, because if that was present, you would see that the object itself isn't moving, it's the drone. So that would explain why they wouldn't want that there, if that is the case. But if that's wrong, it's easily debunkable. You could easily slap that shit down by just releasing like the uncropped version of the footage. They're also explaining why the Hellfire missile didn't detonate, because they are speculating that this object is something very small and very light. Like a balloon, which, when it comes to aliens, the weather balloon thing is as old as time. Like, that has been around for a while with the whole, like, balloon theory. But in this case, I mean, it does kind of check out. Like I said, even if it was some kind of force field on alien tech, the Hellfire would have still exploded. It still would have detonated. But it doesn't here for some reason. Whereas if it passed through something, like a balloon or something really light in the air, it would go through without blowing up. That would explain that, but what it doesn't explain is the seeming ricochet of it. Because it does seem to like aggressively ricochet off it, which the balloon theory doesn't account for. But if the object is actually stationary, it would also explain the use of the Hellfire. Hellfire is laser guided. It's hard to laser guide on something that is moving very fast in the air, which is why it's typically reserved for air to surface. If this is stationary, then it would explain how the Hellfire even hit it in the first place, because it's a fucking miracle to have even made contact at all. Like, that is a tough thing for it to do. The balloon theory, or very light object in the sky theory, would also explain the carrying on after being hit with the Hellfire. Let's assume that it is some very light object up there that's stationary, or at the very least only moving little bits with the wind. And then it gets hit by the Hellfire. Well, it kind of maintains most of its shape, but it loses altitude over time. So as it's losing altitude and looks as though it's carrying on, they stop the footage before it gets to the point where it's obvious or it like hits the ground. Like, that does also make sense in that context too. So the balloon theory has some pros and some cons. Once again, it's just more food for thought. I do still find the footage interesting, even though my dad doesn't. I'm kind of surprised I'm the one more, surprised by it and kind of bewildered by it. But I don't know, I just find this to be one of the more compelling, more unexplainable UFO videos I've seen in recent memory. So I wanted to yap about it a little bit. That's really it. So yeah. You all know how much I love conspiracies, reptilians, flat Earth, the revival of JFK Jr. and his upcoming presidency announcement, 5G, Wi-Fi, reprogramming gamer DNA, fucking microchips hidden in our spaghetti. I love all of it. But what if I told you there's a new and growing conspiracy that makes all of these look rational? I'm talking about the secret space program. The secret space program, to break it down, is basically a group of people who believe that they were at one point selected by space Nazis to fight intergalactic threats, and they are augmented super soldiers that have lived on Mars for 300, 400 years in some cases. They command high-tech mechs like Gurren Lagann shit straight out of an anime. And it's people who genuinely believe this. They have their own seminars, the meet and greets, they have their own community. I was recently made aware of this thanks to a YouTuber named Oki's Weird Stories, a fantastic channel, and a lot of work went into a video he produced where he talked about and infiltrated this conspiracy group. It's truly amazing. We watched it on stream, and I'll play clips of that now. But I'd encourage you to watch the full video to get like the absolute all-encompassing experience, because I can't do it justice. There is so many layers to this onion, not even Shrek could get to the bottom. It's fucking amazing. But my god, I was blown away by what I was seeing and learning. So I've of course done my own research on it now, and it is even better than I could have possibly imagined. The secret space program is where LARPing, fanfic, and main character syndrome all collide into this singularity, this fucking supernova of entertainment. It is amazing, and it wouldn't be nearly as enjoyable if people didn't actually believe it. From everything I can see, this isn't some kind of joke movement or anything. Like, of course you have the fun ones like birds aren't real, but you all know, and not to spoil the surprise or ruin Christmas, tell you Santa's not real, the birds not real movement is made as a joke. And I know that's kind of blasphemous to say, but in comparison to the secret space program, which is taken very seriously.
Person for the White Dragon Society. With me here is Chodoin Daikaku. He's the head of the world's martial arts societies, and if necessary, and in an emergency, he can summon up an army of 200 million people worldwide.
This guy? This guy looks like a sex doll. Is there a human being here? Or, like, the quality's so bad I can't even tell. Is this flesh? He can summon up an army of 200 million people, and he's the head of the world's martial arts committee?
Here on my right is Alexander Romanov, who is a grandmaster of an Illuminati group that claims to have started the French, Russian, and American revolutions.
Wow!
Imagine if someone told you they lived out the plot of the movie Total Recall. That they thought they were living a regular life until one day they recovered memories of being a secret agent fighting an evil organization on Mars.
I'd say that's a fucking good man.
Who is an Akashic reader, healer, and telepath. And he also remembers being in a facility that trained his shapeshifting abilities, in which I was also a participant of. He recalls
Can you still
experiences as a
shapeshift?
super soldier in Kruger and has done training missions with zombies and vampires.
Well, there was one kid.
There
that
were
turned
zombies
into
and
a turtle.
vampires
There
on
was
Mars?
another a female that
Surely we could
turned
cure
into an eagle,
zombieism.
and that was used for surveillance. I myself was a blue wolf.
Upon realizing this, I started to formulate a plan. What if I made up a story about being in the secret space program?
Well, that's
get
all
onto
they
James'
do.
show
Yeah.
and share it
See,
with his
I mean,
community.
that's easy.
And that's how I finally found an angle that compelled me enough to make a video about this topic.
You don't join the SSP, swine.
So if my
You
goal
were
still sounds too
chosen.
vague to you, I set up a criteria for 2. Get onto a major platform.
We'll
within
just
the
say you're part of the
community as
Blue
a
Wolf
whistleblower and share my
shape-shifting crew.
experience. I developed
Easy.
this criteria after thinking what's required to become an SSP whistleblower. Before World War II, the Nazis, who were interested in mysticism and alternative views, searched the planet for fantastical powers. They found Maria Orsek, a medium and leader of the Vril Society, who channeled Nordic and Draco reptilians who offered the
Holy
Nazis
shit,
the
this is a lot.
schematics behind anti-gravity technology and UFOs. The Draco reptilians
I
told
always
the
knew
Nazis
this was
about ancient alien
happening
technology hidden in
somewhere.
Antarctica, and in 1938, the Nazis traveled there. And by 1950, the Nazis were on Mars.
The new Schwabenländers didn't want to support Hitler at the end of the war because they considered him.
Let me catch up on the lore myself here at base 211. The new Schwabenländers. Was that like a real division in the Nazi Germany, or is that just what the secret space program made up? The new Schwabenländers. No evidence. Bro, we don't use the E word when we're talking about the secret space program. We just feel it. They have unlocked memories. Dumbass. Evidence. Fuck. What are you? Huh? Some kind of science believer? Idiot.
Insane.
This guy has lived for 330 years on Mars.
Split.
Okay,
In
you don't
SSP-1,
understand.
The Nazis capable of space and
facts
time travel
yet.
became the Fourth Reich.
You don't have
And
the
they pissed
lived
off to Antarctica in
experience.
space while refusing to proceed and began an aggressive expansion out into the solar system, setting up
So is
bases
the entire
on
secret
moons
space
around Saturn,
program
the
Nazis?
Kuiper belts, and etc. Capable of time travel, the space Germans also traveled back in time to settle on planets around the galaxy.
In their own lore, they made themselves Nazis? Why? So they're part of the new Schwabenländers? Alright, give me 1 second. I'm going to go say goodnight to Tiana. And then maybe interrogate her to see if she's part of the secret space program and she's lying to me.
Offering services to help recover secret space program related memories. At the top of the list was James. And for $200 USD, I could book a guided meditation regression session with him.
Draco reptilian humanoid hybrid, and then I think I also got like Anunnaki. MA.
Do you know who you might have been in a past life?
Have you heard like the Black Samurai Yasuke?
You were a samurai?
Yeah. Dude, hold on. I'll show you something. Check this out.
That's pretty dope. And I was a gladiator.
Oh no, that's awesome.
Oh wow!
The goal here, I want us.
You
to
could
get
learn
to
a lot
hyperspace.
from James.
Let's put a gold sheet thought into it. Just imagine what do you think?
Imagine
would be
Oki just
behind
becomes
that
a
door?
real believer.
So let's start with that, and tell me what you see.
I see Kevin Spacey or his clone.
Paul Serene, he was on the governing council of the ICC. So his clone is Kevin Spacey.
We're in a gymnasium.
Wait, what? So wait, is that part of SSP lore? Kevin Spacey is like a figurehead in the secret space program? Oh, okay, so Monarch is responsible for human trafficking, sex, mind control, experiments, and chemtrailing. I knew it. Fucking Kevin Spacey was behind it all, that son of a bitch. Evil bastard thought he got away with it. Didn't expect us to be hot on his trail. Luckily we broke away from Atlantis though, so we cut the connection. But Kevin Spacey himself is a clone of Paul.
We're in I think I see.
Oh, nice. Thanks for the rubber feet.
Mr. Beast.
Today, we will be planting 20 million trees.
Okay, so they're probably programming him. But he's the guy that doesn't even give away a bunch of free stuff on the videos.
Yeah.
They must have looked into his future and okay.
So a few days later, I traveled to Las Vegas and landed at around 12 p.m. after a 4-hour plane ride.
Man, he went all in for this video.
I'm here.
Traveled fucking 5,000 miles for a 45-minute interview.
Disclosure, 5D events.
This is going to be an exercise in patience for me.
No, this is going to be an eye-opening experience for everyone. We're all going to leave here thinking we're super soldiers from space.
The golden nugget.
And experience this up on the starship.
Is he the only one here?
Times. I spoke with the commander, the Arcturian commander, who I am connected to.
That's how we connect?
This concert, this Travis Scott concert, where 800 people were injected with these drone mosquitoes. You know, you see
Oh,
that,
wow.
they can go around.
So that's
and
what
inject
happened.
people.
Jesus Christ. It is... Whoops. It is so hard to believe that people like that exist, man. Not only exist, but have other people that believe them. Like, they have influence over other people. That's fucking wild. Think about that for a second. I've said this a million times. No matter how stupid you are or how outrageous your beliefs, you will always have an audience thanks to the internet. You will always find people that agree with you, support you, worship you, or just at the very least provide camaraderie in a positive echo chamber because you are connected to everyone at all times through Twitter and Facebook. So that guy who thinks at the Travis Scott concert 800 people were injected with, what was it? Some super space mosquitoes or whatever. He's got 100 other people in his Facebook group that all think the same thing. Wild.
We get to go to How to Become a Jedi Warrior.
I'm excited about that one.
That should be, yeah, that should be productive.
Unfortunately, when we showed up to the How to Become a Jedi Warrior workshop, no one was there, not even the speaker, so it was canceled.
We just got in here. We have no idea.
Oh man, what the fuck? Well, they're too busy having sex, I bet.
Just gave up.
On Mars.
Quantum spoon bending, parentheses, bring your own spoons, close parentheses.
And the quantum spoon bending lesson was underwhelming since, instead of learning how to bend a spoon with our minds, we were instructed to physically do it with both hands.
What the fuck? It's real! Oh my god.
While walking around the venue, I noticed that James had sent me a text inviting me to his hotel room for an interview. Suddenly, a wave of anticipation and euphoria washed over me. This was it. Finally, after several months,
He ends up getting like Harvey Weinsteined by James.
I ran back to the workshop room, found Night Docs, filmed the interview, and to get to Jay's hotel room as soon as possible.
Night Docs,
Time
go
was
with
of
him.
the essence.
Keep him safe.
Therefore, being late
Oh
was
my
not an
god.
option. Night Docs, who was behind me, was still trying to attach
super
his
soldier's
camera to a
unpredictable.
gimbal, which would not fit. By then, any nervous anticipation I felt leading up to this face-to-face sit-down had completely dissipated.
Yeah, you
I
just
was
get to come in here
knowing
and
that I was more than
make
prepared
some
to
shit
speak
up.
about my time in the secret
Have some
space
fun.
program in a convincing manner. The interview lasted 1 hour, and here's what happened.
Okay, so my name is Oki. So it started from before I was even born, where they genetically enhanced my DNA. And by the time I was 6, I was put into a special program run by Monarch. I was under direct tutelage of Paul Serene, Kevin Spacey's clone. There was 12 children.
Oh my god. Luckily, James didn't pick up on that. He just got the lore wrong. Paul Serene is not the clone of Kevin Spacey, Oki. Kevin Spacey is the clone of Paul Serene. Oh my god, the whole operation just went tits up. There's no way James didn't just... Oh my god, there's no way James didn't pick up on that. Oh my god. He blew it. He fucking blew it. SSP's on his tail now.
Who were trained
He's hunted.
directly
He's a
under
hunted
him,
man.
including myself and the YouTuber Mr. Beast.
So
every method they could to use MK Ultra programming and to create killing machines, and I was able to just look at a photo of a target and make their head explode. Because I mean, there was billions of dollars spent on each and every single one of us. I particularly liked
That sounds like Kevin Spacey's research.
I liked my my 2 daggers. I had a form of EMP that I could take out there.
He's a Reddit assassin.
In my past life, I was
on Mars.
Yasuke, the Black Samurai.
did any of your clones ever get changed into a zombie?
I had a clone.
I like how that's one of James' core questions. Have any of your clones been changed into a zombie? James makes it sound like he doesn't even know what the fuck a zombie is. He makes it sound like it's a state of mind. The clones would have to die first, James, and then Kevin Spacey and Paul Serene would have to do a fusion dance in order to bring out the proper necromancy on Mars at the Knockwaffen to revive them, for them to be zombies, James. Jesus Christ. He's getting lost in his own sauce. He's not even following his own rules in the secret space program.
That clone actually was fighting zombies and vampires, and there was also Yetis that they were fighting.
What about vampires? Do you recall any scenarios fighting vampires?
He just said that, James.
This particular thing.
He's killed 1,000 of them with his bare hands.
Is that they can't help but count. from what I remember, most clearly is
He
that I
wanted
do
that so
have
bad.
many different clones of myself with used pretty much as like kamikaze pilots.
Typically, at least what I heard, black people require a different protocol of brainwashing.
Time flew by, and I was struck by the
The
effortlessness of
the super soldier is many things, but a coward he is not. He will ask the hard-hitting questions. He will go where no other space program super soldiers will.
story which I crafted. I spoke for 1 hour.
He actually
with ease
fucking
and
said
told my
that.
story so coherently. I was playing a role, and even though I created the role, while I was performing it, it was like a switch in my brain went off, and everything I said felt real.
That's
At that moment, I
100%
managed to
true.
delude
That's how it
myself and
works.
Speak matter-of-factly about
That's
being
why these
trained by
communities
Kevin
exist.
Spacey's clone, along with Mr. Beast. Whistleblower testimony that they've heard on James's channel so far, and one person even said that they cried the whole way through the video. So that's that.
Oh my god. Hold on, I want to read that. I'm so sorry you had to do that. Thank you for your bravery. Oh man. God, like to a certain extent, I feel bad for them. Not in particular the secret space program, like them too, but in general, people that truly believe these things, like wholeheartedly separate themselves from reality to exist in this new made-up world. It is sad to a certain level. God, that was amazing. This is criminally underrated for the work that went into this. Dude flew out from Canada to Las Vegas to a secret space program meeting in order to have an interview with the #1 figure in secret space program super soldier lore. The 330-year-old ass-beating, ass-eating super Goliath James. Have you heard of Daryl Enka? Not sure if he's crazy or a fraudster, but he claims to be able to communicate with / speak to an alien named Bashar. Bashar, huh? I'm unfamiliar with the cosmic entity known as Bashar, but I'd like to get familiar with them. Messenger of good news. Bashar, how to attract anything into your life by going gamma state. Huh?
Many of you are familiar with some of the different frequency states of your brain, and you know that
Yeah, 93.3 the hits. Yeah, I know those frequencies.
different kinds of modalities, different kinds of perspectives.
So this is Bashar talking to us right now, right? I'm guessing he's in his channeling stance. He's got like the TN tri-beam going with his hand, so I'm assuming this is the alien Bashar speaking to us through Daryl.
Many of you are also not familiar with the idea called the gamma state, which is between...
Did he just fart? Was that Bashar or Daryl that tooted?
Which is between 40 and 100 cycles
Man, just shot
per
himself.
second in your brain.
Cosmically. Quantumly.
In the typical channeling state. And this particular vibration allows you to experience in the neurological net of your brain more cohesiveness, more acceleration, more connection, more synchronization.
A lot of good buzzwords here,
While
Bashar.
also simultaneously allowing certain neural pathways to actually close down. That is the gamma state. Also typically called the channeling.
Reading comments always make, like, this is all well and good. If you want to pretend to channel an alien and just spout a bunch of gobbledygook, all power to you. But it's the comments that actually just make me feel so sad. This resonates with me very much. Bashar says out loud what has been running in my head all along. Thank you for confirming that I am receiving the right information from my higher self. Oh my god, he's been teaching us how to access flow state all this time, which is something I've wanted for a long time. On top of that, he's saying flow state is the key to manifestation. Wow. It's like he's saying to a kid the key to life is to eat cake. Lots and lots of cake. Perhaps maybe I just don't understand the gamma state. Maybe I need to lock into flow state and then I'll be able to dunk on a 10-foot hoop. Perhaps I'm not being receptive to the wisdom of Bashar, the cosmic being. Wait, Danica Patrick has a YouTube channel? And she interviewed Daryl and Bashar? What in the world? What in the world? Bashar predicts humanity's coming great shift in 2024. Prepare yourself now. Bashar Sedana workshop. Oh my god, he goes in front of a class?
Hi, everyone.
Hey!
Someone who's lost in the song, an actor who becomes the part, in essence, is in a channeling state. But in that state, you can also access other portions of your own consciousness. You can access
Oh, so Bashar lives inside of him.
portions of information from throughout the universe.
Jekyll and
apparently,
Hyde style.
And make connections with other beings, other dimensions, what have you, depending on
Oh, never
how
mind.
you wish to
I'm
focus
wrong.
the idea of that channel.
He's interdimensionally traveling.
For me, this began, I received what I experienced to be a telepathic connection from Bashar and his people.
Okay.
In that one instant, an actual memory came back of having made an agreement with Bashar to do this before this life.
Okay.
I understood in that moment that the UFO had been shown to me on purpose to get me to go in the direction I needed to go, so that by the time it was time for me to fulfill that agreement I had made, I would be ready. And
It's almost like the Rocco's Basilisk paradox. Very cool. Daryl, this is incredible stuff. What was the agreement? You'd agree to be his vessel so he could be a motivational speaker on Earth? That seems like a very underwhelming use of this cosmic being's powers. You're telling me that Bashar decides to use his abilities to just tell people to brush their teeth and eat well? And, like, have a positive mindset? That seems like a complete waste. Look at his website and his store. He's written 200 books since the 1980s. 200 books since the 1980s. Jesus Christ, Bashar. You should show your dad this video. My dad doesn't believe in any of this shit. My dad just believes in the aliens building the pyramids. I don't know what to tell you. That's like the one. That's pretty much it. Like, this kind of shit he would absolutely laugh at. He wouldn't text me being like, Charlie, you hear what Bashar said today about our horoscopes? Isn't that some shit? Like, that. My dad doesn't believe in that. Can Bashar take over like Sukuna? I don't think so. I think so. He was describing the channeling state. I think he needs to get into the zone. And if he's not in the zone, I don't think Bashar has like a door to get there. I don't think the alien planet is sending their best. Yeah, maybe Bashar is kind of like a dweeb on his home world. But to us, well, not to us. To Daryl, he's super cool.
Bashar is really another entity, or whether it's a portion of my own consciousness or whatever. The altered state is real. The information seems to have the ability to help people do what they need to do to make the kind of changes they need to make in their lives. And for that reason, I figured that's reason enough to go ahead and see where this goes.
I didn't expect that. He's like, oh, so it could be an alien, an interdimensional being, or it could just be some part of my subconscious while I'm conscious. No, I like the channeling community. There was another channeler I used to watch frequently. God, what was his name? He was the one that would channel the Yael. I'll just do that. He was the one that was like, you will send your best and brightest to school this morning. It's a very good day for learning. Blasting at you live from the Yael headquarters. That guy? Who was that? Does anyone remember? No, this isn't the guy. It was an older guy. Yael were very talkative through a bunch of different channelers, but there's one in particular I'm referring to, and I can't remember his name. No, it is him. He made a rap song about them called Bringing in the Yael. Thanks for your sub, Kev. I don't think it is, though. He was much older, unless the Yael de-aged him.
We are of Ashtar Command. We are of the Pleiadians. We are of the Pleiadian civilization. Of the Pleiadian consciousness.
Billionaire Boys Club. Isn't that Kevin Spacey's movie?
Move through these ripples of time-space as your civilization, as your solar system moves into a new era of the galaxy, a new area of the galaxy, and a new
We
era
moved to a new
in
area of the
civilization.
galaxy?
The idea is that there are time fields, time-space equations.
Wonderful message. It repeated everything I've been seeing in my meditation. In your meditations, you've been seeing that we're changing the area of where we're located in the galaxy. That would cause such an immense change in daily life as we know it. That would be immediately recognizable. That couldn't just happen without us knowing. Oh, here we go. Bringing in the Yahyel music video with footage of Yahyel ship. Wait, this is huge. He's got footage from inside of their spacecraft?
Bringing in the Yahyel, bringing in the Yahyel, our family from the stars, on earth they will dwell. Bringing in the Yahyel, bringing in the Yahyel.
The kind of music to throw your ass in a circle to.
Bringing in the Yahyel, bringing in the Yahyel to get this party popping.
I feel like I've actually heard this before. I think you're right.
Rocking, and you know it's a boat that desperately needs to be rocked. We may all come together, there will go the shadow government. And I know you're thinking retribution, but it'll be different. Let me clear up this confusion. Cause the
Whoa!
is gonna be love. We ain't gonna get nothing
Damn.
but kisses and hugs.
Yeah.
'Cause they're an extension
Kiss and
of
hug
me,
'em.
And they're an
Yep.
extension of you. I know it's hard to discard the old ways of war, but see it through. Cause there ain't no us. We bringing in the yeah.
It actually might be the same guy. I could be misremembering. I thought he was much older. Because I'm pretty sure I've heard that song. That definitely opened some neural pathways the Yahyel wanted closed in my brain. Oh, this is a classic. This one's a classic. Teen girl abducted by praying mantis alien. Ancient alien. I've got to send that to my dad. My dad loves ancient aliens. How the fuck? Really, Dad? A girl abducted by a praying mantis alien? Ancient aliens. Aliens in disguise. Warn researcher. We've taken many humans. God damn it. Channeling the ninth dimensional Pleiadian collective. Interview with extra dimensionals. Here we go.
Yes, hello, dear. This is the Ninth Dimensional Pleiadian Collective, and it is a pleasure and an honor to have the opportunity to connect with you. So,
nice to meet
in
you.
a short time today, we think we're going to cover a pretty lengthy or a pretty substantial amount of ground. So we're very, very excited. So thank you for the opportunity to connect.
What's very interesting to me is all of these like ninth dimensional beings that are able to be channeled through these goobers are always just on standby. It's like they're waiting to be channeled. They must be like maybe interns of the other ninth dimensional Pleiadian society. Like they just have to sit around like fucking phone operators waiting for some human to channel them. That sounds like so boring. Yeah, just actually channeling a call center. Why does no one ever channel like a really aggressive alien? Or like a really cool one, like, hey, sorry, I can't talk right now. I'm fucking 5 3-titted alien babes. Call back in a moment. Then break connection. Nothing ever like that. It's always like, oh, it's such an honor to be speaking with all of you on Earth. This is a ninth dimensional Pleiadian collective reporting in live. What do you want to know? You need to watch Daryl connect to Bashar. It's hilarious. I just watched Daryl connecting to Bashar. Or does he have like a ritual for it? Alright, he's jacking into the upside down. Assuming athletic stance. Oh, good crack.
Sorry.
No apologies. Do what you need to do to get the aliens on the horn. Oh! Picked up a bad frequency there. Oh shit! We're losing him! He's going too deep! Bashar, let this man go! Where's the holy water? That actually sounds like Darth Vader's mask. Holy shit. What cool noises. Now, if he actually starts levitating, then I'll be impressed. No!
Boy, I'll say good day to you this day of your time.
Hey!
How are you all?
Don't yell at me, Bashar. What the fuck, man?
All right, I will take that as an okay.
Does he have an
First
accent?
of all, we would like to thank each and every one of you individually, and all of you together collectively.
I love how he put on an accent for Bashar this time, but then later on he got rid of it. He's like, I don't want to do that anymore. Bashar just lost his accent. His dialect, he outgrew. The old Yael guy you were thinking of is Sean Swanson. Is it? Hey, it's my boy. I think this is him, right? Yeah.
The idea of, from your perspective, not of Earth, but human beings. And
See, I knew it.
Very
I knew it.
Similar in appearance to that then that you are familiar with Earth humans in your planet. We then are of another planetary location, and in that we actually have an origination of more.
Why do the Yael talk like that? I recently learned about a community on YouTube who uses something called light language to channel and communicate with aliens, and I just found it to be truly wild. So I've been practicing my light language, but I've been unable to get them on the line. I guess I just have bad service to the cosmic entities out there. So I fear my third eye may be forever closed. I might never experience the joy of tapping into that intergalactic Wi-Fi and communicating with these spacefaring organisms. However, not all is lost. I found a great YouTube channel called Skylife that actually did a really interesting video on it where she met with and interviewed an individual who claims to be able to communicate with aliens. I guess more accurately, she's able to allow alien communication through her as like a vessel, kind of like in SpongeBob when they have the magic conch. Like, she is the human magic conch for the 5G extraterrestrials out there. Now, this should go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway in my own version of light language. Do not go harass anyone in this video. Don't be a fucking douchebag. No matter how you feel about alien channeling or communication or anything like that, just don't be a fucking asshole. One thing that I've learned about recently, I haven't watched this video, but there is I think she's a YouTuber who talks to aliens. And it's kind of similar to the Kundalini. She's able to tap into the alien hierarchy and speak their language to us.
If I weren't experiencing this reality, it would seem insane to me.
Do you believe you're an alien?
Definitely. I can open up a portal, speak your own version of light language as well.
See, like, I feel like aliens communicate with just orgasms. Because every time there's an alien channeler, they're just constantly busting.
Activation vibration. In this
Do we have anyone fluent in light language that can translate? Like, I know I couldn't pop that in a Babelfish. Shit would just explode. You have any experts? You're dog shit, kid. Okay. I mean, that awfully long-winded for such a short sentence, but who am I to question the aliens?
They actually feel that they've come to Earth.
That was pretty low effort. At least the other ones are putting effort into making it sound like almost a language. Hers is just quiche, quiche, quiche.
They actually feel that they've come to Earth from another part of the galaxy. She's coming.
Quiche, mama, quiche, quiche.
For like 2 years.
Welcome.
I've been feeling you like you've been coming through the realms recently.
What does that mean, coming through the realms?
Like you've been appearing in different realities, your name.
So I believe you're understanding the gist of it, where it's individuals who enter a trance-like state. Like, you know when you're really fucking turbo gaming and you just enter this flow state where everything just starts connecting? They enter that zone and then start speaking light language, which is their way of communicating with aliens, I believe, at least to my understanding. Now, one thing that I'd like to immediately question here is whether or not the individual Skylife is meeting with is actually the human or aliens using her like a fucking meat puppet. You know, there's no way of confirming whether or not there's a human soul in that body anymore, because maybe she went too deep. She got too lost into the cosmic vibrations, the chakras, and the aliens, you know, like you stare too long in the abyss and it stares back into you. The aliens have now taken over that body, right? Kind of like in Peacemaker with the butterflies. What a lovely portal.
Where I live, we call it the portal.
Really? There's a
Whoa.
resonant vibe.
There's lots of synchronicities happening already.
There's so much nothing words.
Sekhmet.
What does that mean?
It's actually the
So
lion
many
goddess
synchronicities
from
and
Egypt. He's a guy,
quarks.
but genders are. There's different crystals actually
I
aligned
saw a bottle
throughout
of
the
brain
place, all
juice.
set with intention to like hold a specific frequency, so that you feel good, so that you feel nourished, so that you feel loved.
That's my favorite frequency. Is that FM or AM?
Can we talk about this beautiful altar over
Yeah,
there?
she likes
We have a bunch
shungite
of
and shit,
different
which is
things
cool.
That are energetically represented.
Rest in peace, any
and, like,
Wi-Fi
symbolic
signals trying to
of
penetrate
certain
here.
frequencies to invoke thing though. I haven't eaten meat in 11 years,
Wow.
actually, until I just did ayahuasca 2 weeks ago. And I had
What's
this whole
that?
thing come through where it was like, I partly identify with the fact that I've been vegan, that I haven't eaten meat for over 11 years, and I'm like, I need to dissolve that ego.
I want to sit down and really
Yes.
dive into all of this.
Let's do it.
So let's go back to.
I like to imagine that situation. Fuck, I've been vegan for 11 years. I'm becoming too self-centered. Fucking starts blasting chicken nuggets and chicken wings. Alright, good. Now I'm humbled again. Back to being vegan. This story here really confused me. It was like veganism tenet. Like, I don't really know what she was trying to say. So I looked up ayahuasca because I'd never heard of that before. And it's apparently a plant-based psychedelic. So she basically had a trip and then was like, damn, I partly identify as being vegan. Which would make sense, right? Like, if you made the choice to be vegan, you should fully identify as being vegan. So why is it partly? And why is she looking at it as a negative thing? Perhaps this was like one of those weird out-of-body experiences. Like when Doctor Strange blasts fucking Spider-Man's soul out of his body and Tom Holland is like floating outside and he's like, damn. She must have had that happen. Like the ayahuasca just split soul from vessel. And she was like, shit, that's a vegan. And then what? Like, I don't know if because she said she didn't eat meat for 11 years until she did ayahuasca, so I'm assuming when she did, she started just fucking pounding meat, like gluttonous, grabbing pork, duck, veal, lamb, you know, all kinds of shit. Like, that's the impression I got. Like, she was a vegan for 11 years until ayahuasca, where she had this epiphany where it's like, gee willikers, I guess I was vegan. Time to dissolve that for some reason. And it might be my fault because I'm not fluent in light language, so I have a hard time wrapping my head around a concept this big brain, this galaxy brain. Like in the cosmic scale of intelligence, I'm still down here at like the primordial ooze, and she's somewhere towards like a level 3, like a type 3 civilization intelligence, I think. Because I couldn't even spell ayahuasca. I thought ayahuasca was like a small town somewhere in the Midwest. I didn't know it was a psychedelic or anything. And when I was Googling it, I had to spell it like 20 different ways before I finally found the correct spelling for the plant-based psychedelic. So really, it's probably just my lack of understanding because my brain isn't like truly opened. I'm not using 150% of all my neurons.
What's it called? A hand drum?
A hand pan, but it's a space drum. It
It's
is
a UFO.
It's actually a spaceship.
In your lab.
It's a
that
cosmic
plays
instrument.
Sound frequencies that are like cosmic binaural beat sound frequencies that register to certain parts of your brain and activate certain awarenesses and consciousness.
It's like the secret space program instruments.
Feel. Same thing as light language.
I don't understand.
Unlocking our memories from our spacefaring days.
How do I do it?
It's kind of like I would love to.
I'd love to talk
create
to
a
some aliens,
space,
please.
A container to where you feel comfortable.
Say
and
what's
if you
up.
feel called to allow your soul
They have
to
Fortnite
speak your
out
own
there?
version of light language as well. And as I was meditating, these 3 light beings appeared on each side of my bed, like kind of what you would think an alien would look like, where they were really tall, their heads were different shapes, and their arms and their legs were more lengthy, and they had maybe about 3 or 4 fingers I couldn't
so like
fully see, but they weren't
you
physical
communicated
form,
with a
they were
Ninja Turtle.
emanations of light. I woke
But
up
you
the
were
next-
awake.
I was awake.
Imagine
I was not sleeping.
Mikey's
I
just
wasn't in a
communicating
dream,
with
and
her.
they lifted
It's like, I just need a
my
pizza.
light body so I could see it. Almost. I started thinking about Arcturians. Arcturians.
Oh,
What are
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Arcturians?
So the name Arcturians just
Real quick, just to connect everything here, this is so serendipitous she decided to bring this up. I mean, maybe we are vibrating on the same frequencies thanks to this portal. The SSP, Secret Space Program, that's very big in Arcturians. So the Arcturians, they're a spacefaring lizard race, and they can also have shape-shifting abilities as well as vampirism. I think they can also be werewolves as well. So really, it all kind of blends together. So she might be speaking the truth. She could be a Secret Space Program member. Yeah, I'm sure all of you that accept the truth of our universe are very familiar with the Arcturians. Very cunning, very intelligent beings out there. In Mass Effect, I'm sure they were somewhere in the Citadel as well. They're something that always gets brought up in pretty much every single conspiracy theory, that at least ones that involve space. I don't exactly understand why, but somehow Arcturians just always find their way into these communities.
Fully relaxing your nervous system.
Can we move the cat? It's gonna get caught in the crossfire beams. Oh shit. Fuck, I'm starting to transcend. And I don't even have, like, the eucalyptus oil on me or whatever. Oh my god. Oh, Kalimba!
Shwarasiki asha salafwa kapi as asham indiki asha safua.
It's coming!
Mentioning it still.
Which is natural and normal, and that's a part of the fun, where it's like, we forget so that we can remember.
My fear is that I'm just gonna make things up.
At first, it may feel like that, but you have to give yourself permission, because that's still the ego doubting.
It's like
I'm gonna
the
be
exact
speaking to
opposite,
you
I would
as
think.
well. It'll be a conversation.
So from what I can tell here, the ritual, the sacred ceremony to start summoning the aliens here to our dimension consists of just laying down while having obscure instruments being played over top of you, I guess, to align your vibrational, you know, frequency with the correct space frequency or something. I like when she brought out the kalimba, though. I actually had a kalimba myself for a while that I can't find now. Perhaps some kind of cosmic burglar came in to steal it because maybe kalimbas are too powerful an instrument. Maybe I was pretty close to summoning a dangerous alien here. But I had this kalimba and I could play the Teriyaki Boys on it from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. The dun 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 dun. Yeah, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So I was a little disappointed to see that she didn't break out into that solo there and get that pumping, because that probably would have summoned some fucking badass aliens. Like, the aliens would have come in and start talking about, like, fucking horsepower, diesel, suspension, shocks, and carburetors. They probably wouldn't have even summoned an alien, and they just probably would have brought in Dominic Toretto or something. I also really like that line, "We forget so that we can remember." That's basically just a Mudvayne song, "Forget to Remember." So maybe they're summoning the spirit of Mudvayne, I guess, trying to get that band back together.
Okay, so like bringing your energy into our hands, and let's activate
That was
the
profound.
energy. And so we're just gonna
Speak
be like
it.
kind of moving the torso.
Come on, let's go. Oh, she's falling into the galactic stream of vibrations. The chakras. Oh, fuck! It's a close encounter with the third kind! Be careful! It's too much energy! She's gonna go turn into Dr. Manhattan! Who am I communicating with? Who's on the horn? Banish it! Ah! Get out of this realm! No! She's too deep! Alright, we're coming down. Fuck, that was close. She was tapped into the mainframe. Oh, now she's communicating with an alien comedian, huh? What's he saying? Good lord. Jesus! Let her go! Oh God, no! Jesus, have some class! These fucking cosmic beings! Stop it! Oh my God. Where did she travel?
Okay, that's it.
Sounds good.
The adventure continues.
Yep. Bye-bye. That was interesting. You know, that was pretty good. Skippity-dee-dee, boop-bada-bop. Boom-bada-bop. That was me saying goodbye in light language. It does seem cathartic to just get the wiggles out and like just have a full body exorcism like that. I imagine that probably feels pretty good. I don't know if it necessarily makes me a believer in the communication with aliens through light language, but if nothing else, as long as it makes them happy, I guess that's what matters. You know, it's not hurting anyone. It's pretty harmless. Just, yeah, thought it was a pretty interesting and fun community to talk about and share a bit of. And anyway, that's really about it. So yeah. See, Harvard published a study saying aliens may be living on Earth disguised as humans. I saw. It's not like a real thing though. It's like a theory. But based on actually nothing besides, like, maybe they are. There's membership first. I haven't read the whole thing, though, just little bits and pieces here. Let me pull it up. Aliens may be living among us disguised as humans, claims Harvard study. Recent Harvard University study has revealed that aliens might be living among us probably underground or on the moon. Please, get this garbage off my screen. The Human Flourishing Program of Harvard University also stated that UFOs might be alien spaceships that are visiting to meet their alien friends living on Earth. Man, this sounds so real. Maybe the aliens come here because they have so many friends that they want to stop by and say hello to. So obviously the most efficient way of doing that is flying all the way across the goddamn universe in order to see their friends in person and say hi. More commonly referred to as UFOs and extraterrestrial beings could be living underground on the moon or even walking among humans. The research also explores the idea that UFOs are unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP. Paper also states that the author is aware of the depth of evidence and theory that also tentatively support another extraterrestrial explanation, the cryptoterrestrial hypothesis, linking UAP activity to the action of hidden non-human entities. Where is the evidence? Or anything grounded at all in reality? This theory claims that aliens might have traveled from the moon or other places to visit the Earth and hidden themselves among us. They traveled from the moon to Earth. Brother, that's like a walk in the scale of the cosmos. We would have seen them do that. Magical cryptoterrestrials. These beings are like earthbound angels having magical rather than technological relationships with humans, like folklore creatures like fairies and elves. Isn't Harvard supposed to be prestigious? Is this in the paper? Or are they just going over all kinds of potential theories? Fairies and elves? The primary weakness of the theory is its perceived oddity, especially for those accustomed to conventional scientific explanations. You mean logic? The primary weakness. As if there's any strengths to it. Other than, like, I want to believe in this, so maybe it's possible. The researchers admitted that their research was likely to be regarded as skeptically by most scientists, but it urged the community to consider their claim in a spirit of epistemic humility and openness. What fucking research? Scrolling through Tumblr? Like, what? Where's the actual paper? All right, I'm reading the actual paper now. This is ridiculous. Now I've got to see. I did not want to bother reading this paper, but whatever. Oh, here we go. From the Human Flourishing Program. What is this? Okay, let's start here. What is the Harvard Human Flourishing Program? That sounds like MK Ultra, except you're brainwashing college kids into being fucking idiots. The Human Flourishing Program, Harvard University. It's integrating knowledge across disciplines. Knowledge, huh? Fairies and elves. Founded in 2016, the Human Flourishing Program at Harvard aims to study and promote human flourishing. I love that. Please define human flourishing. What does that mean? Like, I'm flourishing by opening magic cards because it fills me with a sense of satisfaction. Would that classify as human flourishing? And to develop systematic approaches to the synthesis of knowledge across disciplines. This is just an absolute nothing statement. That's just buzzword for buzzword's sake. Many topics that are fundamental to human well-being, such as happiness itself, virtue, religious community, meaning, and purpose, have traditionally been viewed as principally falling within the purview of the humanities, often of philosophy or theology. However, robust empirical research literature of these topics is now developed from sociology, political science, economics, education, psychology, medicine, public health, and other empirical sciences. The program's research contributes to the broad question of how knowledge from the quantitative social sciences can be integrated with that of the humanities and questions of human flourishing and how best to carry out the synthesis of knowledge across disciplines. Hopes to bring greater unity to empirical social sciences and humanities. This actually told me nothing. You told me nothing with this. I came into this not knowing what this Human Flourishing Program aimed to do and how, and I'm leaving not knowing what it aims to do or how. Our research. Promotion of flourishing? It sounds like a cult. Promotion of flourishing. The Promotion of Flourishing project seeks to develop and evaluate properties of new measures of human flourishing, drawing upon happiness and life satisfaction, mental and physical health, meaning and purpose, character, virtue, and close social relationships. Alright, so this is the Human Flourishing Program. Your guess is as good as mine. Now, what? Back up. What the fuck do aliens have to do with human flourishing? Magical fairies and elves? How does that fall into this department? The crypto-terrestrial hypothesis, a case for scientific openness to a concealed earthly explanation for unidentified anomalous phenomena. Thank you. Yeah, this is the one. Then we explore over 5 sections, limits to historical and geological knowledge, traces of lost civilization, traces of underground civilization, traditions around magical crypto-terrestrials, and UAP-related activity considerations, and UAP-related activity underground, underwater, and nearby, i.e. the moon. We conclude by noting that across these various considerations are actually 4 distinct CTH, whose merits we briefly consider. We recognize these CTHs may rightly be regarded skeptically by most scientists, but argue they nevertheless should not be ruled out and deserve consideration in a spirit of... okay, let me see. There better be some fucking banger evidence. Show me some evidence about the magical fairies being aliens or whatever. It's all just complete fucking speculation, based on nothing. The ideas canvassed thus far, while not generally accepted by contemporary natural science paradigms, nevertheless still fit somewhat within their rough boundaries. Aliens on the ocean floor or subterranean hominids would be highly surprising, but not genuinely metaphysically revisionary in any strong sense, and essentially just involve extrapolating from activities in which we humans already undeniably engage, from flying spacecraft to living in caves. What? This is nothing. It's just straight up nothing. We can't rule out the possibility that there are some magical crypto-terrestrials on the ocean floor. I mean, I fucking guess. I guess. Just like we can't rule out the possibility I shit my pants in the next 5 minutes. Like, it's super possible. Like, I could. I don't think I will. Like, I'm very confident I won't. But I guess we can't fully rule it out. It's just a statement that means nothing. Oh my god. Future human time travelers was just dropped in here with a source there. We're talking about fucking John Teeter again? Fucking time travelers and interdimensional beings? Is there warp drives in the paper? You know what? I'm going to control F warp drive. No. No warp drives, but there are Russian warplanes engaged with UFOs. Oh god, if warp drives came up, I would have blown a gasket. I'm not going to just keep fishing through this. How odd. How odd. This dude's paper seems like it's his D&D campaign notes. So fucking true. Yeah. We need a deeper dive. A red thread. On that one Harvard paper. I have to... So, one thing I learned is that you can kind of publish anything. Well, not you as like just some random goober. But things will just get published without actually being fully peer-reviewed. So it doesn't necessarily constitute like real legitimate backing. You can kind of just do it. I recently got into a massive argument with my own chat about aliens visiting Earth, which is a crazy war to have fought. You know, it was a bloody battle. I'm sure most of you know, because I've talked about it before, my dad is super into aliens. He firmly believes they've helped us build the pyramids, given us fiber optic internet. You know, I'm surprised he hasn't started talking about aliens, how they farted 5G onto our planet or something. Like, he's big into the aliens thing and always has been since I was a kid. So I've been inundated with all kinds of alien stuff ever since I was young. So I have loved the field. But I have never been a believer that aliens have ever visited this planet, ever. I do think there is life outside of our planet, obviously, in the massive, unfathomably huge scope of the universe. I think it's unlikely there's no other life out there, but I don't think it's ever visited us. It would have to have somehow found fast and light travel, wormhole, something, which is so far above our comprehension that if they did actually do it, we wouldn't have even been able to process them visiting us, I imagine. Like, it is just so well beyond us that I just don't think it's happened. So I have been firmly against the idea that aliens have visited us, but I've always been open-minded in wanting it to be true. I would love to be able to fist bump my dad and be like, hey, Pops, you were right. and here's proof of the aliens having visited us. I did a keg stand with one of them at my frat brother's last party. Like, that'd be great, you know? But I've just never seen any compelling evidence about it. And we got to talking about it on stream, and a couple of chatters were very adamant that I was off my gourd for not believing every single abduction story ever told and every single sighting ever made, including the recent Las Vegas one, which was confirmed to just be casino lights reflected in the fucking sky, but they're writing that off as it was like a cover-up for aliens. Like, it's outrageous. In order to convert me to their side, to believe in them, to persuade me, they would tell like these anecdotes. Like, I read this story once on these forums where, you know, this guy's friend Eric was playing basketball in his driveway one evening, and then all of a sudden everything went white and his memory was erased, but he had his butthole prolapse. Like, the anal prolapse is signs of the aliens having experimented on him, and he lost 6 hours of memories. How is that proof? Why am I supposed to take that at face value? But they would drop these things like the Eric butthole incident and have me look it up and be like, how can you not believe us? This is ridiculous. You're spitting in the face of real proof. So I was losing my goddamn mind having this argument with them. And eventually we ended up going to something called like the Ariel School incident, which is a school in Zimbabwe which claims to have been visited by aliens, where 62 school children drew in crayon their encounter with a UFO and aliens who warned them about the future. And I got called crazy for doubting the legitimacy of it because you have 62 school students that drew very different crayon drawings that don't agree with one another. Some of the drawings have them coming down in a goddamn space potato, others have like this elaborate, huge UFO, very generic, and then the aliens, they can't even agree on what they looked like. Some claim that they had long black hair, so literally fucking looking like me coming out of the spaceship. Some of them drew the aliens bald, like very generic alien baldness. Like, none of the kids' drawings even, like, agree with others. Like, it's such weak evidence, but they're using it as fact. Like, how could anyone doubt us when this exists? So I'm just going to show you some of the clips from the stream because it got heated. And then we opened Pandora's box and started talking about warp drives for some reason. It got off the rails. It got a little crazy. So I just wanted to show some of that. But I want to make it clear. I would love if there was real compelling evidence of aliens having visited us. Like actual encounters with aliens. That'd be great. And there have been government-released documents and footage from pilots and shit from unidentified flying aircrafts, this unidentified air phenomenon, but none of it's like aliens per se. It's just we don't fully understand exactly how it works, so it's unidentified as of the moment. It's never definitive proof of aliens being here. It's just we don't have a full explanation on it yet. But it could be. Yeah, it could be, and I find that stuff to be pretty interesting, but I don't view that as, hey, here's proof that extraterrestrials are here for some reason. But anyway, let me just show you how the stream went. A leading UFO expert has investigated dozens of sightings over an impressive 45-year career and says aliens don't come in peace and have an agenda. I wonder what the agenda is. They come down here just to read our dank memes, shitpost on Twitter. I wouldn't say they're peaceful due to the thousands of UFO abductions worldwide. I woke up and my ass is sore. Damn you, aliens! Not again! I've been a big fan of aliens shit, UFO investigative shit for a long time. I have never once read, watched, or listened to a compelling abduction story that made me be like, this man actually he got abducted. At no point did I ever once even remotely come close to believing any of the abduction stories. Have you seen that documentary about a guy with 9 alien kids? What is that? What are we talking? What? No, I can't say I've seen that. What the fuck does that? He has 9 kids with extraterrestrials? This man's spreading the humanity seed throughout the cosmos? There were 30 plus kids who saw aliens at their school and drew them. If there is one group that I trust more than anyone, it's kids. They're notorious for not having an imagination and not just going with what everyone else is doing. That's what I would hinge my alien evidence on, is children's drawings. Being in all black, possibly showing medium long black hair. Were the aliens just clones of me or something? What do you mean? The aliens have normal human hair? Well, there's no hair here. One of them was bald, I guess. Maybe he got made fun of on the ship. Not only would the beings have to have somehow discovered faster-than-light travel to make it here, it would have somehow had to elude everyone else's gaze and have only a couple people, in this case 62 school children, see them. Like, the amount of crazy coincidence that must all occur for only a small group to see that is very unlikely. I'm ready to... There is nobody on the planet that wants alien encounters to be real more than me. If this has compelling evidence, I would be elated. I would love that. I want to believe. But it is so unbelievably unlikely, and all of the evidence is so shit that it's impossible, in good conscience, to believe that there are aliens that visit us periodically. The circumstances for such a thing to be true are very, 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 very low possibility. So for multiple days, there have been headlines of UFOs hovering over the skies of Zimbabwe. And the only evidence we have is some children's drawings. Surely that would be major fucking news. And also, why would the aliens just be hovering over Zimbabwe? What are they doing there? They're just hovering there, doing nothing. Standing there menacingly like the hash-slinging slasher. What would be the purpose? Why would they have come there? Let's go down this for a minute. So the aliens came here to warn us about the future. And the optimal way of warning us was to go to a small school in Zimbabwe and tell a group of children. That was the best way of delivering this warning of the future? They were talking about COVID. Imagine this is all very true. The aliens actually did just fucking boot, scoot, and boogie all the way down to Earth just to land here and be like, hey, there's this little thing called COVID. I'm letting you know it's right around the corner. No good. No good. Alright, good luck with that. We're out. We've done our job. Message delivered. I don't think they were visited by aliens warning us about the future. Let's play with that for just a moment. Going back to that. Not only were they intergalactic travelers, they're fucking time travelers, warning us about our future. That's another crazy technological leap. And if they're that smart, that advanced, why would they tell a group of children at a small school? And also, why would they ever even make direct contact with people? They could just transmit the message. There's millions of cases. So what you've just shown to me is you believe what everyone says. You don't believe anyone's making things up. You don't believe in people having, for example, a sleep terror, which a lot of it boils down to sleep paralysis, where they have these very real feelings at night, where they're half asleep, half dreaming, and a lot of it gets chalked up to sleep paralysis. So you don't believe in any of that. You don't believe in mass hysteria, I would imagine then. You don't believe in manifested group thinking, where if someone believes they saw something, other people mysteriously start to have memories or visions of the same thing. You just take everything at face value, and no one's ever lying. Oh, wow. Jesus, you're having a full meltdown. Anal probing isn't even a real thing, you moron. You get all your UFO info from fucking movies and TV. You get all of your UFO info from fucking TV, too! What do you mean? All of your sightings are on TV. What are you fucking talking about? And then you said reptilians are part of the aliens. And faster than light is an outdated theory. Warp drives are proven. You're misinformed. What are you... What? Are you having an episode of psychosis? Jack Sarfati talks about the technology behind warp drives. Who mentioned fucking warp drives? I don't know why you're harping on that subject. That word had not left my mouth until I read your comment history of your 86 message meltdown. I'm not talking about fucking warp drives! Why do I need to do research on warp drives? That goddamn name didn't leave my mouth. He brought it up. But warp drives are an important part of alien lore. Maybe, but I wasn't talking about fucking warp drives. Jesus Christ. You asked for answers. On what? Warp drive? When did I ask for answers on warp drive? I want alien evidence. What the fuck are you talking about? Who am I talking? That is evidence? So, let's assume every alien has their own warp drive motorcycle. Why are they visiting trailer parks and fucking small schools to warn us about the future, then only telling children? That isn't an answer. You weirdo. That chatter didn't read jack shit. It's theoretical physicist, meaning it hasn't been put into effect and there's no way to test any theories. I don't care about warp drives if they're real or not. God damn it. What an incredible day for father-son bonding between me and my dad. With all of the alien information that's come to light today with the Mexican Congress broadcasting some alien corpses, supposedly, my dad and I have been going back and forth spitballing, and I have been doing a deep dive into the most rancid underbelly the internet has to offer when it comes to alien information. Sometimes when you stare too long into the abyss stares back into you. I'll tell you what, sports fans, if there are aliens out there, I'm on their watch list for how deep I've gone. I'm on their ass like a hemorrhoid right now. I'm having a close encounter with a third kind. You might see my eyes roll back into my skull and have me levitating out of the chair here in a moment. Point is, I have found some very intriguing information in regards to these alien bodies. But let me bring you up to speed just in case you don't know what I'm talking about. I posted a video earlier today going over the whole situation, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen it by now, but I'm just going to give you the cliff notes, bring you up to speed on the lore with what's going on. Last night, an individual named Jaime Musan had brought some supposed alien bodies into Mexican Congress, and this was broadcast to the entire world. He was making claims that these are authentic extraterrestrials, and he had a ton of tests to prove it. All the tests and all the information is public, and he invited anyone else in the world to come into the Thunderdome and analyze the alien bodies to confirm and verify that these are the real deal. Unfortunately, these aliens don't have three massive honkers. They're not goth, big-titted alien babes. They are little goofballs. These tiny little goobers are being shown in Congress, and he's bringing up a ton of pictures as well as data and saying that they were found at the Nazca Lines. They're about 1,000 years old, and they are actual aliens. Now, a little background on Jaime Musan. He is a UFOologist and a journalist. His main profession is journalism. And this is not the first time he's done this. He also had another mummified remain that he called an alien back in 2017. It was debunked. And this one here is taking the world by storm because a lot of people believe the Mexican government is the ones revealing this. They're breaking the magician's code and they're showcasing real aliens. When that's not the real story here. It is Jaime Musan and his team that's presenting this. It's not the Mexican government. It's become widespread confusion. Basically, they platformed him and he presented. Not an official endorsement from the Mexican government, at least not as far as I understand here. So, now that you're brought up to speed, what have I found? What new information could have possibly come to light in only 12 hours? Well, this is going to open your third eye here. Get ready to activate your Sharingan because the truth's coming in hot. It turns out these alien bodies aren't new. In fact, these were debunked in 2021. There's a really great YouTube video that goes over exactly what these are. And according to this, they're not aliens. Now, before getting into the video, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, what about all of the tests? And those haven't been, confirmed as faked or fraudulent or anything like that. So again, if the rest of the world truly does have access to this information and are invited out to actually study these mummified remains and conclude that they are real and authentic, that'd be amazing. Nobody wants them to be real aliens more than me and my dad. But it's just hard to really believe that because there are so many things working against it. I've seen a lot of cope from the community about why they look so stereotypically alien, like the movie depictions. And what they keep defaulting to is saying that people that worked on the movie sets modeled their alien design after real alien encounters and paintings from back in the day, or they'd actually seen aliens like at fucking Area 51 or something, so they made the costumes and the effects to look like that, so it'd be warming us up to what real aliens look like. And to me, that's just a load of baloney. We're teetering on Tumblr fanfic with that reach. I would like to ask you, what's more likely? That, or that whoever had these mummified remains modeled them after our perception of aliens from movies? It becomes even more likely that that's the case when you consider where it comes from. The source here, Jaime Maussan, whom is regarded by some as a hoaxer, who has had similar things in the past be proven completely wrong. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, fucking please stop fooling me. You're making me feel dumb. It's, you know, again, nothing's been 100% confirmed here, but I would just like to present to you the evidence here from 2021 with these bodies that suggest it's not actually alien remains.
Now let's study the X-rays of the small mummies. Ufologists go as far as calling them humanoid reptiles. So what do we see? Same stuff. A hodgepodge of human and animal bones.
The channel is called Scientists Against Myths, and they tackled this alien mummified remain phenomenon all the way back in 2021. They even use some of the same pictures that were presented to Mexican Congress last night. So I do believe these are the same mummified remains. I don't think there's any wiggle room to make a real argument that what's being analyzed by this channel is different than what was presented last night. I think it's pretty clear that these are the same.
Here's a mummy named Josephine. A real beauty. Instead of humeri, she sports femurs, or thigh bones. Her legs are even more baffling.
Immediately the question needs to be asked, if this is a real extraterrestrial body, why does it have the same bones us cringe-ass humans have? What are the odds that these aliens would evolve down a similar path we did and have the same bones we did, just in a different order and arrangement? That seems highly unlikely, but let's go ahead and paddle around in the kiddie pool of fantasy and assume that all intelligent life in the universe evolves down similar paths, so every single fucking life form out there in the cosmos has all of the exact same bones we do. Well, in that case, this species got fucked hard in the ass by evolution, because with the way these bones are arranged, it wouldn't even be able to move. They need some kind of evolution patched DLC update here, like a hot fix, because these aliens wouldn't be able to even take a single step.
One of the thigh bones is actually a femur, only facing the wrong way around, while the other one is a tibia. And they are completely mismatched. With the hip bone, there's no joint there at all. The poor humanoid wouldn't have made a single step. Some of the bones are simply chopped off.
So even if you go ahead and write off the coincidence that the aliens have the same bones we do, how could you possibly write off that the way their structure is set up would mean they can't move? Evolution doesn't really work that way. It wouldn't have made it this far if that were the case. And it's getting me gassy, so I'm just ripping mean ass right now. All of this alien stuff has just been so fascinating, and this video says that some of the bones were just chopped off, like kind of just chopped willy-nilly. That wouldn't really happen naturally at all. It suggests that they were made like this, with just an absolute fucking mishmash of different bones going in different places in order to look alien-like.
Note this asymmetry here. The fingers are a total mess too. The first pseudophalanges are facing in different directions on her left and right hands, with the white part facing up or down. Well, they just forgot to turn them the right way. Stuff happens.
That's pretty damning. Some of the bones are just facing the wrong way because whoops-a-daisy. And like I mentioned, some of these photos that are in this video from 2 years ago were the same ones that were presented last night. Most notably, the alien with the 3 eggs in their tummy. The pregnant alien carrying the triplets. That is in this video. That same X-ray photo was presented last night. So I think we can say with a high level of confidence that all of the information presented for these corpses 2 years ago applies to the corpses shown last night. They are the same. And if that is the case, then a very interesting component of these remains is actually the skull.
French paleontologist Julien Benoit thinks that those who crafted the small humanoid mummies used skulls of some small mammals for their heads, such as a llama or alpaca. Comparison shows that the reptiloid's cranial cavity fits perfectly the cranial cavity of a llama. The skull was then rotated so its back part faces forward. The reptiloid's face is actually the back of the poor llama's head.
I trimmed this up just a little bit to keep it brief, but they make an extremely strong argument for why this alien skull is actually that of a llama skull. The bulbs, the brain hemisphere, all of it matches up perfectly with a llama skull. The only thing is they cut out and rotated it. And the question then becomes, well, where would they get a llama skull? And the video answers that too. According to one of the historians, back a long time ago, there was actually burials for llamas in the area where these mummified remains were found. So they would have had easy access and readily available llama skulls at the site.
Where could the mummy forgers have gotten a llama skull? Historian Yuri Bereskin has told me that pre-Columbian peoples of Peru often made llama burials. Here's a fresh report about finding buried llama mummies in Peru.
Overall, I think this video makes an extremely compelling case for these being forgeries, not actually alien mummified remains or anything. Now, I have seen that the newest presentation here has the bones in the correct alignment in terms of like the ones that were backwards here in the video. Apparently, what might have happened is they recognized the error first off and then just rotated the bones properly. Though it still doesn't fix the underlying issue of why the fuck would an alien have all of the same bones we have. Like there is still just no good explanation for that other than it just being completely fraudulent really, and that this isn't a real alien remain. But like I said, I would love for this to be the real deal, completely legitimate, and hopefully soon scientists from around the world will actually go investigate, either confirm or deny the findings, and conclude once and for all if these are real aliens or if it truly is just a complete forgery here of some mummified remains, if it is just a bunch of bones from a bunch of different things thrown together into this creature here. So I guess we'll see. I just wanted to show this to you because I found it to be extremely interesting. And yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. If you're standing up, you're going to want to take a seat for this because boy howdy do I have bad news for seafood enthusiasts out there. You are not safe. It may already be too late. I'm sure you've seen some of the headlines. Radioactive shrimp has found its way into the States. There was a recall for some frozen shrimp brands due to radioactive contaminants. There's now been another recall of shrimp for radioactive contaminants. I don't claim to be an expert on the intricacies of shrimp and the distribution of such, but to me it seems like there's a mole working in there. It seems like we got a supervillain somewhere in the pipeline. We got fucking Bruce Banner in there pumping his haul of shrimp full of gamma radiation. And unfortunately, it's not turning us into the Hulk or anything powerful. It's just making people really sick. Or at least, that's what we were led to believe initially. But today, someone came forward and blew the lid wide open. It's not just making people sick. Eating this radioactive shrimp could turn you into a fucking alien.
This is a photograph of the alien from the movie Alien. This is what you could end up looking like if you eat some of the raw, frozen shrimp being sent to the United States by other countries.
Now I want to address the sloppy audio here real quick. I don't know why they mic'd up his ass cheeks, but you get this perpetual squeaking here. It sounds like SpongeBob SquarePants' shoes when he walks. I don't understand where that's even coming from. I don't know where that mic is located. Anyway, this is a senator from Louisiana named John Kennedy. And he is actually not related to the Kennedy family. That's just a coinkydink. But it seems like there are a lot of Kennedys in government. Like every state has their own Senator Kennedy in it. Like I had no clue it was such a ginormous family. Like call me a troglodyte if you want. I didn't know it was that big. I thought after like the original line with the death of JFK, I thought there was only like a handful left, like the fucking Uchiha clan. But it turns out that is not the case. But anyway, this John Kennedy is not related. I felt the need to explain that. But the most important part is what he's talking about. Right now he's saying that should you consume this radioactive shrimp that's coming into the States, it could potentially turn you into an alien. Not just an alien, the alien. A xenomorph. I don't know if John has watched these movies, but xenomorphs are considered the perfect organism. They are literally described as the perfect organism. Some people could interpret this as almost like a glowing endorsement that they should go get some radioactive shrimp because it could turn them into a fucking alien. He should have chosen like a bigger loser of some kind of cosmic being, like some kind of fucking space meatball or something, not a xenomorph. Again, in the universe, those are scientifically considered perfect beings. So to say the radioactive shrimp can turn you into that, like holy shit, that's like the holy grail of science right there. We need to be studying this radioactive shrimp ASAP.
The shrimp was radioactive. I kid you not. It had a radioactive isotope in it called cesium-137. It'll kill you. Even if it doesn't turn you into the alien if you eat this stuff, I guarantee you'll grow an extra ear.
Now, obviously, he's not wrong about the danger here of consuming radioactive shrimp. He's just going about it in the most clownish way possible. Like, if he was giving this speech to, like, an audience of toddlers, you know, trying to put the fear of God in them, stay away from radioactive shrimp or else you're gonna end up like this fucking thing. Like, that'd make more sense. But he is delivering this to a council of adults. A lot of them geriatric, of course, but like these are people that know it's not going to actually turn you into an alien. They're like, well, maybe he really believes that. I don't know. I feel like there's no way he actually thinks radioactive shrimp is going to turn you into a xenomorph. Like, I don't think he really believes that. I think he's just trying to like scare people with like how serious the issue is, and it is a serious issue. But he turns it into a mockery with a presentation like this, where he downloads a fucking JPEG of a xenomorph being born and says, "Look, Exhibit A." This was once a 23-year-old football player. Then he went to Walmart and got some frozen shrimp. Look at him now. Horrifying. Terrible stuff. What's happened to this country? Like, come on, man. Like, just treat it seriously, so that way everyone else can too, as opposed to making it like this joke. I guess I'm just kind of tired of, like, the government treating all of its people like they're the biggest fucking morons on the planet. Like, actual bumbling imbeciles that they have to use this kind of verbiage and presentation to try and like get a point across. Yeah, this is like really bad food for you. It'll turn you into an alien. Like, come on, man. Jesus Christ.
That was bad enough. Obviously, the FDA issued a recall. A few days later, it happened again.
Yeah, I'm pausing it real quick. You thought I was going to let that wacky intonation on the word again slide? You thought wrong. I have never heard anyone pronounce again that way. Again! It's like the G went in there and fucking fought his esophagus on the way out. Why did it come out that way? Why did he say it like that? It was like he had a battle in his mouth just to get the word out there. Like, maybe he's been consuming some radioactive shrimp. I don't know.
It's not being inspected. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be inspected by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. We call it NOAA. It's part of the Department of Commerce. And yes, they're inspecting some of it, about 1%. On a good day, 2%. The United Kingdom inspects 50% of the foreign seafood coming into its nation. Even China does a better job.
I completely agree. I think that is totally unacceptable. So what are you proposing we do about it, John? Maybe, like, beef up NOAA so it can do a better job at what it's supposed to be doing? If that's the case, if that's what you're pitching, why do you vote completely opposite of that? Brother, NOAA just had huge budget cuts. NOAA is being gutted right now by the current administration, which you are voting for, by the way. So he's out here talking about the dangers of radioactive shrimp turning you into a goddamn alien and reprimanding NOAA for allowing this to happen, doing such a piss-poor job of inspection, but he is voting to kneecap them. From everything I can see, John Kennedy has been, like, on the side of these kind of budget cuts. So what the fuck, man? Like, what are you yapping about? Why are you pretending to be surprised or outraged? You are actively taking money away from NOAA, which in turn is obviously going to affect their ability to do these inspections. Like, they've already been cut tons of jobs. Like, why are you surprised? And why are you pretending to give a shit? Like, the radioactive shrimp and, like, NOAA not doing its job, you have a role to play in that. And you're acting like, NOAA just sucks. No, it's terrible. They're not doing a good job. They need to do a better job. Like, that's his closing statement, by the way. This is unconscionable, and it should not be happening in the United States of America. Now, I am biased. I believe in homegrown Louisiana shrimp fresh out of the Gulf, not radioactive, but I understand that some stores prefer to buy foreign shrimp because it's cheaper. Now we know why. The damn stuff is radioactive. NOAA needs to do a better job of inspecting the shrimp that is sold from other countries that don't abide by the same standards we do to the consumers of the United States of America. I completely agree. It should inspect more. It needs to. We need to take food safety far more seriously than we do. So then why are you voting to make it harder for them to do that? You are taking money away from NOAA, which is making it harder for them to do these inspections that you are attacking them for not doing enough of. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's like me being mad at my toilet for there being poop in it, but I also just took a shit in it like 10 minutes ago. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. You're a fraud. You're a goofball. But hey, John, credit where credit is due. Your PowerPoint, that shit went insano style. I love seeing that one. Radioactive shrimp turning us into aliens, that's a banger. Good work on that. Anyway, that's really about it. See ya. It's time you and I have a very important talk. Might be an awkward discussion, but it's a very significant one in every person's life. The old birds and ETs. We need to discuss aliens a little more in depth because there's a lot of misinformation floating around about what I believe in when it comes to these beautiful cosmic bastards out there, and, well, I want to set the record straight. All of you know, my dad loves aliens. I'd argue he's one of the biggest alien enthusiasts in this country right now. And he's very passionate about this topic. So am I. I am also very passionate about aliens, but more so because I find a lot of the theories that pop up about aliens visiting us, and here's UFO footage, and it's just like this poorly photoshopped image of two colanders stacked on top of each other, wiggling around in 240p, and it's black and white and just blurry out the wazoo. They're like, no, it's real footage of a UFO flying around. Like, I laugh at that kind of stuff. Or like the alien bodies that keep being discovered. Like the fucking potato alien from 3 days ago, where people were convinced there was an alien in someone's garden because they had this, like, interdimensional cosmic abortion that just plopped into their garden. They're like, look, finally, irrefutable proof to convince all the doubters. We got an alien body. And it just looks like a shriveled up mushroom with nipples on it. Like, that does not look like an alien at all. And you also have to ask yourself the question, if an alien race is advanced enough to reach Earth, it means they've cracked faster than light travel, one, so they're already well beyond our comprehension technologically. How the fuck would they just crash land here and end up in someone's garden? Do they just come to Earth to die? Like, alright, we'll take the space cruiser out. I'm looking for a good place to just die. I'll choose Earth, and this one random person's garden seems like a nice spot. It just doesn't make sense. It's not like it's just going to be some freak accident where they crash into Earth and die, and our weaponry certainly wouldn't be effective against something that technologically advanced if they're able to visit us. It's just illogical. Like, that kind of stuff makes me laugh. So when it comes to aliens, I'm very passionate because the comical nature of it is unmatched, really. But I do still firmly believe there's alien life out there in the universe. It's too big for there not to be, in my opinion. I just firmly don't think they have ever visited Earth. Ever. My dad does not agree. We don't see eye to eye when it comes to aliens. My dad is a firm believer that aliens have not only visited our planet, but helped us evolve and advance, all the way back into ancient times. He is a big proponent of ancient aliens. And while I too am an enjoyer of ancient aliens, it's for an entirely different reason. It's because I think it is very entertaining because of how outlandish it is. Meanwhile, my father subscribes to the belief that Ancient Aliens is right on the money when it comes to, like, aliens building pyramids and Puma Punku and all of that kind of stuff. So I just want to set the record straight. I believe aliens are out there. I feel like you'd be a fool to think that we're alone in the universe. I just really have seen no compelling evidence that convinces me they've ever visited Earth in any way, shape, or form. But my dad very much disagrees. And he wants to do some kind of, like, panel where he tries to, like, really convince me of it. Like, he wants to put together, like, a video showcase of it, which I've encouraged him to do because I think it'd be amazing. But we haven't done that yet. I also went a little bit deeper on stream about, like, my dad's alien beliefs versus mine, so I'm just going to go ahead and play those clips. I just don't want there to be any more confusion, because I keep seeing people say that I don't believe in aliens or something, or on the other side of the spectrum, people saying that I believe aliens helped us build the pyramids and fucking blessed us with fiber optic internet or something, like all kinds of different things, because wires are getting crossed here, because my dad talks about aliens so much, and I talk about my dad talking about aliens so much, and then everything just gets all, you know, confuddled. into like this, knowledge soup. So I just wanted to make it very clear here. But anyway, here's the stream clips that go a little more in depth. It's kind of already been cracked, but he just doesn't believe the official explanation because my dad, he's like an engineer, and he just really doesn't believe that people back then would be able to make these cuts on these blocks. And that's the thing he harps on a lot. He just really thinks people back then were stupid as fuck. He really does. He thinks not only were they stupid, they just didn't have tools to make cuts on stone. Well, at least cuts like this on stone. The H blocks. So how did they do it? According to my dad, the aliens did it for him. He doesn't have an explanation as to why. He just thinks the aliens came down here and just fucking started carving H on these blocks. He doesn't really have like a reason as to why. He just says, well, we can't know. They're smarter than us. And I'm like, damn, that's such an easy cop-out. If aliens did help make it, why the hell would they only use stone and not give early humans advanced metal or something similar? Are they stupid? That's what I said. I'm basically just reliving like our arguments that we have back and forth, and they're not arguments, like they're good-spirited. But like I always say, if the aliens did this, why? And he just says, well, we can't know. They're smarter than us. Okay. And then I say, if aliens did this, why are they still using primitive shit? You could have easily made this out of like metals or something. And usually what he'll say is the aliens wanted to teach humans how to do it, to help them advance or something along those lines. And I'm like, if they wanted to do that, why didn't they leave any other messages or instructions? And he says they did. It's called the pyramids. They're perfectly aligned with Orion's belt. It's their message to us. And I say, what is that message? He's like, well, we don't know. They're smarter than us. We can't possibly know. And I'm like, well, it's a fucking very ineffective message then, isn't it? I used to watch Ancient Aliens back in the day, bro. The shit they come up with is hilarious. They unironically said the Bible story about Jonah being swallowed by a whale is false. He was actually abducted by an alien submarine. We talked about that yesterday. Yeah, my dad fully disavows 99% of Ancient Aliens, but really believes that they know their shit when it comes to the pyramids. And I guess Pumapunku by extension, because they covered that. They have a whole goddamn episode on, like, Sasquatch being an alien, or dropped off by aliens or something. I already forgot. Have you heard of the Intergalactic Federation? That's kind of part of the secret space program. They're adjacent. But yes, I am familiar. This even got referenced in 2020, if you guys remember this. Former Israeli space security chief says extraterrestrials exist and Trump knows about it. He said, a galactic federation has been waiting for humans to reach a stage where we will understand what space and spaceships are. So this kind of kicked that whole thing off. What's the most heated alien argument you had with your dad? I don't know. Heated's just not the right word, because it's always comical. Like, we're usually both giggling, but he's very passionate about it. So I guess he kind of gets heated. He'll start, like, really, like, raising his voice about it. He's like, Charlie, I built cars for fucking 50 years. I know engineering. The people back then didn't have the tools or the fucking brain power to build the pyramids. It's simple engineering, son. When are you gonna stop being so stupid? But, like, he's not being mean about it. He's just getting, like, really animated. Speaking of Ancient Aliens, remember that episode where they said giraffes used to have short necks? Blame it on the aliens? Or am I on crack? That sounds like Ancient Aliens. There was even a whole meme for a while that was passed around Reddit where they had Sukalos, who my dad fucking loves. Before I, like, watched more Ancient Aliens outside of the homework he assigned me with the Pyramids episode, my dad was like, Charlie, you gotta look at this guy. His name is Giorgio Sukalos. He knows his shit. And then it turns out he's the guy from all the memes where he does this and it just says, aliens. He's that guy. And I felt almost shame. I was like, Dad, no. Not Sukalos. This can't be your expert source. It can't be. And sure enough, it was. And Sukalos is like the worst offender of just blaming everything on aliens. So in the pyramid episode, I think it was Sukalos, there was like a speculation like, this pyramid didn't have a tomb in it. So then why was it the way that it was? And Sukalos comes in and said, Well, it's because they were communicating directly with aliens in the intergalactic cosmos far, far away. And he's like, well, do you have a source for that? Like, that's quite a leap. Like, how do you know that? Sounds like he's just messing with you. Doesn't sound like he actually believes it. No. No, you couldn't be more wrong. Since I was a child, my dad has been on the aliens and pyramids. I remember being a baby boy, a toddler, and my dad would try and have these profound talks with me where he'd sit me down and be like, listen, son, it might not be this year, it might not be 10 years, it might not be 20 years, but one day, you're gonna see, we're gonna find out that the aliens built those fucking pyramids. We will learn that the aliens helped us advance in our primitive stages. Like, I remember as far back as my brain will allow me that he has always been on that. Since day one. He's committed to the joke. It's not a joke to him, I'll tell you right now. Even tonight he texted me. He's like, so I see you talked about those stupid garden alien potato things or whatever. What did he say again? You say, what's that new alien vid? Bunch of bullshit. You gotta do one about Puma Punku. Love you. That was at 8:23. He is always on alien mode. You know what it is? I talked about this on stream. I'll mention it again. I think what happened is, my dad, when he was a teenager, he always, like, believed that. Like, he just really... Because my dad is, like I said, he does so much engineering and has his whole life. He just really can't wrap his head around people back then being able to make, like, sophisticated stuff, like pyramids and fucking giant H's, I guess. And I think he probably, for a while, harbored this belief that it must have been the aliens because it's so advanced. But was probably more open-minded to it, like, to being proven wrong, like, hey, no, that's not what happened and here's how they did it. Which we have a lot of evidence to support a lot of theories on how these things were made. But what happened, what really cemented him in this way, is my dad's roommate was a U.S. Army lieutenant? No. Major? I think it was a major. I can't remember the order. But he was a pretty high-ranking person in the military, and he worked at a MacDill Air Force Base, which is a huge Air Force base in Tampa. And they were roommates for the longest time. Even like after leaving the military, they remained roommates, remained very close. And he was an alcoholic, unfortunately. Very sad set of circumstances. He was not in a good way. But my dad swears by this story that he was telling the truth. One day, his roommate came back, fucking blasted, per usual, and he told my dad that, that day on the base, they had recovered an alien corpse, and that MacDill Air Force Base had an alien body there. And my dad swears by it, fucking swears by it, that he wasn't being lied to. He was in his right mind enough to reveal that information. Like, he's usually very tight-lipped. This isn't something he would normally do. It probably rattled him to the core. And I think that was the moment the switch was flipped in my dad's brain, where it's like, okay, I'm right. The aliens are here, and they've been here. I think that's what happened. When really, what I think happened is, the guy had a lot of mental problems, alcohol abuse, a lot of terrible things, and I think it may have just been associated with that. I don't think they actually had a fucking alien body on the base. You gotta find that guy and see if he was telling the truth. Well, I need a Ouija board for that because he's dead. Yeah, he passed away. So that information is, that's with him now, in the afterlife. The aliens got him. He knew too much. That's probably what it was. Thanks for the gift sub, Couch. What kind of information do you think was lost in the Library of Alexandria? You don't think the Egyptians had sophisticated tools? Well, hey, what the fuck? I have been firmly on the side of the people back then were still very smart, very resourceful, and actually had a very good understanding of, like, tools and all of that. They had the means at their disposal to make these things. Wait, you're barking up the wrong tree. I'm on your side. Thanks for the resub, Hubie. But as for the Library of Alexandria, God only knows what information was lost in that. They had Stanleys back then. Yeah, they probably fought wars over Stanley Cups back then. I did more research on Sukalos. Motherfucker unironically said Excalibur was an alien laser weapon. That does sound about par for the course. That's the Giorgio Sukalos I've come to know. Archaeology degree checking in. The thing with Pumapunku is simply we have not found the tools they used. Look up Cyclopean masonry. Ancient Greeks and Romans saw these walls of huge, perfectly fit stones and figured, surely only Cyclops could have built this. 1,000 years later, we figured out what tools they used and decided the OG theory was cringe. Well, from what I recall, and it's been years since I bothered digging into Pumapunku, they actually did find the molds for tools they used to carve out the H-blocks, and the tools, like the molds, what they were making, would be able to make those cuts. So I don't think there's a lot of mystery left to it, from what I remember. You ever wonder if there was a case that we did see actual proof of alien life but just wrote it off as fake because it looked so unbelievable? I don't think anything that the general public has ever seen was alien, like real alien life. But I do think there's probably been like maybe something through like one of the, like, I don't know, maybe the James Webb Telescope or something that they've seen. It's like, oh, that's like actual alien life that they just haven't published. That's what I think. I don't think there's anything layman like you and I would have seen. Does your dad believe in the Men in Black? If so, what are his thoughts on them? No. The statistics of there not being alien life is unfathomably higher than the statistics of there not being life. The chances of us intersecting is also astronomical. I've said a million times, I firmly, truly believe there's alien life out there. I just don't think it has ever crossed paths with Earth. I really don't think that's happened. Ever. Do you by chance know about the signal that came from space in 1977 that we never really found out where it came from? Oh my god, not the fucking WoW signal again. We're not going down this shit. We're not doing this again. We've already covered the fucking WoW signal. Not again. Next we're gonna get into warp drives or some goofiness. No more. No more. We've barked up that tree plenty. Have you heard of Teotihuacan? It's an ancient city in Mexico that ancient aliens believe is an alien computer. Their proof is that it looks kind of like a circuit board. I'll be the judge of that. I know my way around circuit boards. I'm guessing this one is the most circuit board-esque. Maybe there's a reason why aliens don't visit, like what can they do with a bunch of old dinosaurs? Thanks for some spaghetti. There's just so many different ways you can toss around that thought experiment. I just think faster than light travel is probably just not cracked by any life right now, would be my guess. And even if it was, I don't think they would touch us. They just be no reason to. They wouldn't need anything from us. If they have faster than light travel, we can offer them nothing. Except memes. And OnlyFans, I guess, if they don't have that in their world. Search the Teotihuacan alien computer. It shows a comparison with a real circuit board. I didn't need more convincing. I already bought in, but sure. Those bastards. They hid their circuit board in plain sight. And they thought they'd get away with it. They thought they were slick. Don't show this to your dad. I don't think my dad would believe in that one. Though I wonder if I, like, dressed it up well enough. Like, Dad, you know, we may not see eye to eye on all the pyramids and stuff, but what do you think about Teotihuacan alien computers? And he'd probably hit me with question marks and be like, check this out. I saw this today, and it turns out this entire place is a giant alien circuit board. And I bet he'd be like, I told you! I knew it! I'd maybe just need to put it in the right context. Because I feel like if I just came at him like, what do you think of this? He'd be like, it's kind of baloney. But if I let in like, I'm starting to believe it, he'd probably be like, okay, this might be some good shit. You gotta start making up your own conspiracies to convince him. Hire some artists to create some fake images for you. That's just diabolical. That is something I wanted to do on Facebook. I think it was about 5 years ago. And I was getting pretty serious about it. I was drumming up my own conspiracy, and I was going to hire some artists to start putting together like a lot of material for it, and I was going to start spreading fake conspiracies on Facebook for fun. But I ended up not doing it. There are many planets that look like they can support alien life. What do you think they'd look like? Again, insectoid. I said it yesterday. I think they'd look insectoid. Like, I don't think they'd be fuckable. I don't think they'd be hot. I think they'd just look like bugs.